Hey guys, Alpha Seagull here. What if I told you there was one skill capable of dealing over 1 billion damage, costs no AP to use, applies all 3 main buffs, all 3 debuffs, and breaks the target? You know, just in case you didn't one-shot the boss already. This skill is called Base Attack. As soon as I got a Gustav weapon that gave me increased base attack, I've always wanted to see if a base attack oriented build was possible. As I progressed through the game, I quickly realized this was pretty unrealistic. Many skills were capable of dealing dozens or even hundreds of times the damage of a base attack, and while they're still useful for a variety of utilities, damage is the one thing that always seemed far out of reach. Until of course the DLC came out. Base attack consumes up to 100 burns to deal 10% more damage per burn consumed. Oh my god, that's insane. Consuming attack gives up to 1000% more damage on base attacks with 100 burns applied. On its own, that's probably not enough to do anything crazy, but then I found out about Dualism. What it tells you is that it increases base attack damage based on the amount of hits on the attack and the amount of foretell on the target, which sounds pretty promising. On top of applying foretell on free aim and not consuming it in Twilight, which are both great effects in general. What it doesn't tell you is that free aim actually counts as a sun skill, so you get a sun charge for it, and base attacks count as a moon skill. So you can hit Twilight with only 1 turn of setup using an attack that, thanks to the weapon, actually deals good damage. Obviously we want to do this in Twilight for the 20 foretell, but it's worth noting that even without Twilight, the foretell damage bonus applies to all 4 hits, which is really nice. Consuming attack unfortunately doesn't work this way though. If you want the buff to apply to all 4 hits, then you need 400 stacks of burn on the target. Too bad there's absolutely no way to stack burns this quickly. So anyways, add Verso, Minoko, and CL to your party in that order. Verso's gonna have Confuso with all these Luminas, feel free to pause. Then Minoko has Bagataro with all these Luminas, feel free to pause. Then CL has Dualism with all these Luminas, again feel free to pause. None of the stats matter except for crit rate on all characters and attack for CL. So I chose a bunch of Pictos that also had Luminas I needed so I can trim down Lumina cost as much as possible. If hitting 100% crit rate is an issue, keep in mind that these Luminas are always going to be in effect, so feel free to add them. Once the battle starts, Verso dies and revives, which activates Clea's death. That's going to help for damage. Then he just free aims until he's out of AP and attacks for both of his turns. By this point, you should have anywhere between 100 and 200 burn stacks. Ideally 200. From there, you want Minoko free aiming just enough to get a mark, then casting Benasir Mortar, which changes his mass to Almighty and doubles the burn on the target. Do it again for at least 400 burn, ideally 800. Do some free aim on CL for that last bit of gradient, and now you've got 2 choices. You can either use any normal moon skill of choice, or if there's at least 800 burn, you can do a base attack for some extra damage. Next turn, you free aim until you have both 20 stacks of foretell and an active blue mark. That's important. Then finally, you do the attack, and if both mark and roulette apply, you get a solid 800 million damage on the last hit. But Seagull, you said it can deal 1 billion. Well, it can, but hitting that number is less consistent. The way we do it is by swapping Confuso with Cereso, and just like that, one-shotters are already having Vietnam flashbacks. Okay, so Cereso's been bugged since launch. It gives your rank boost to half power to your entire party instead of the full boost to yourself. However, it stops working if you die for some reason, and it gets overwritten by powerful. Why? I don't know. So we gotta take off auto death, put on first strike since we were using shortcut before, and take off powerful shots from CL. And we can't have Minoko activate Clea's death because dying also makes you lose first strike. So we have to sacrifice 2 of our buffs to get a stronger one, which does end up boosting our damage, but only by like 30%. And since we're not using Confuso anymore, Verso's burn stacks leave something to be desired. This time we actually have to rely on Minoko to get a bunch of burns on top of using the skill during mark twice. If you're lucky, the effect will bug out and give you 4 times the burn, but I wouldn't rely on that. So even having 400 burns by the time you reach CL isn't guaranteed. And sure, it'll push 1 billion when you get there, but that's a whole lot of extra work. So if you're gonna use this, I suggest the first build. At least until Cereso finally gets fixed. Now obviously this isn't the best one-shot build in the game since it requires a full team of setup and only works on 1 target. But it is funny. So that's why I made a video about it. Whether this has potential to beat damage records though, it's possible, I don't know. It's obviously not going to beat CL's highest damage since she already has ways of infinitely scaling damage to the trillions. But I think if we're given a time or turn restriction for the setup, there could be something here, especially since the setup doesn't even use Fortune's Fury. Either way, I'll let YouTubers like RM figure that out. For now, I'll just have fun slapping people into oblivion with cards. Quick editor's note, when I first had this idea on Christmas Eve, I checked around on YouTube and couldn't find any mention of a build like this. But then while editing, I found 2 videos talking about it by Cocobello and Blitzy. This video was out before I even had the idea, and I even checked this person's channel specifically, so I don't know how I missed it the first time. GG's, I guess. I'm still uploading it. But check these people out in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, hit the bell, join the Discord, join the Patreon, just kidding, I don't have one, do the algorithm crap.